All right, we're here with Brett Robinson. My first impression of Brett was different than Bobby's because I was riding and Brett had stopped and he was sitting in a chair and everybody would come up and he would just give him a hard time and tell them how slow they were and just it was hilarious. And then Bobby and I were talking and she's like, he's a first sergeant in the Army. And I said, what? And because she had sat and talked to you for a while, so she was getting a different perspective of you.
Well, I mean, when you're a veteran, and even though I was just in the Navy, you always have, he's sorry. You always have, I think, a kindred spirit with someone who knows. I mean, I didn't sacrifice a lot, but just to give of yourself for your country, there's just a common respect, even though we harass each other. I think if you're not in the same service. Yeah. So it's
well, that and we're better.
Yeah, they are better. But I was a medic in the Navy, and so that's something we kind of, had in common is just medical and military. And he was a hard ass, and I tend to be that way. So I think we are cut from a somewhat similar cloth.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Huge heart, though. You could see that just talking to him.
Yeah.
Huge heart, especially for the veteran community. So
Andrew calls me the toasted marshmallow.
Crunchy on the outside.
Yeah, all rough and nasty on the outside, but soft and mushy on the inside.
See, I call myself a porcupine.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm all right until you get me mad, and then I throw barbs, but soft and squishy on the inside. So get into the questions. Oh, when did you first start riding motorcycles?
Oh, I used to race BMX in the 70s, and I wanted a motorcycle. My mom was totally against it. She goes, "You want a motorcycle, buy it yourself." So I got a job at Lolito's Burritos washing dishes in Thornton, Colorado, and I saved up $100, and a guy had a Hadaka Combat Wombat.
I remember those.
And I gave him my BMX bike and $100 for that motorcycle, and I brought it home. And she was like, "You can't keep it here." And my dad's like, "The hell he can't! You told him that if he bought it himself, he could have it." So that was my, I was, I don't know, 12 years old, I think.
Wow.
Something like that.
Wow.
So where did you ride it?
We had a place in Thornton. They had a Kawasaki dealer, and next to it they had trails and stuff, and then a Yamaha dealer. So we call that Yamaha Hills, and we just go by the dealerships. So I would just ride it on the sidewalk, side saddle, to wherever I was going to ride.
Yeah, back then no one really bothered you.
No. Yeah. And just ride it and then
figure it out.
Yep, go home. Yep, figure it out and ride home.
So what'd you do from riding until you decided to join the Army? Because that's, say, 6 years?
Yeah, I rode throughout on dirt bikes until I joined the military. And then once I joined the military, I didn't ride bikes much at all. I had a street bike every now and then, but I really didn't ride much at all until I got out. I was just too busy. I was always in another country or going somewhere or whatever. So
what made you decide to join the Army?
Probably I would, as corny as it sounds, probably the 1980 hockey game against the Russians.
No kidding?
Yeah. I think that was a nail in the coffin. That was the proudest moment.
Yeah, that was the miracle on ice. Right. Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Getting emotional just talking about it. See, I told you you're soft on the inside.
So you went to the Army, but did you purposely go to Fort Bragg, or?
No, it was just something that
how did it transfer into Fort Bragg?
The way I ended up in Fort Bragg was I got sent from the 173rd, and so I was on orders to leave, and I was clearing the day they hit the towers.
Wow.
And I was pissed because I knew we were probably going to deploy from the 173rd into Afghanistan. And they did. They jumped in. I'm pissed because I missed it. But I got sent to Arizona State University to be a professor of military science.
Wow.
And so I'm there at ASU just mad as hell because they jumped in. I missed it. And then Iraq was getting ready to kick off.
Right.
And a buddy of mine, Richard Flowers, Sergeant Flowers, calls me up. And him and I was always one rank lower than him, growing up. And he called me up and he's like, hey, brother, he goes, we're getting ready to go to Iraq. I need a first sergeant. And I was like, oh, sign me up. And he goes, all right. He goes, get your orders. So they got the orders. I cleared and poof, right over to Bragg and off to Iraq.
So first sergeant is, when I was doing the research, it said, what did they call it? Top?
Yeah, you don't call me top. No, it's first sergeant.
Just first sergeant. Okay. Next question.
That's a leg thing. Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, but that came about, I think, because it was the top sergeant.
Okay.
So they called him top for short. But
okay.
Yeah.
So you were in
top is what he's saying.
So where you went? Bosnia, Kosovo, Iraq.
Yeah, 2 Bosnias, 5 Kosovos, 2 Iraqs, and then I think 15 or 17. I can't remember Afghanistan's with the agency.
Okay.
With Blackwater.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is
Wait, married at the time or single?
Which parts?
Your tours.
Married for Bosnias, Kosovos, not married for Iraqs. Well, married for the second Iraq and married for all of Afghanistan.
If you hear doors opening and closing and boots squeaking, we are at Texas Tornado Boot Camp, and there's a lot of motorcyclists coming in and out of the room we thought was going to be a quiet room, but
and that was the owner whose name's on it.
yeah, so
we better be quiet.
they can come and go whenever they want because they work here and they own it. So
And then you got Dougie Fresh.
you're fine, Dougie.
So you and your wife sent me the article about the 2 soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a turning point in your life when that happened, or how did it really affect you, or did it affect you in any way?
Oh yeah.
Well, I know it would, but I'm saying
I don't know. No,
because I didn't know the timing of if.
No, I'd lost people before.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was a turning point or nothing like that. It was traumatic.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, I was lucky because I was older.
Okay.
And I'd seen it before.
Right. Yeah, because when I was reading it, it was like, whoa, because I think it was your sergeant or something. He got upset and.
Oh no, that was Leo, the company commander, Captain Coddington.
Yeah. It was very touching. I actually read it as I was riding on a bicycle on Peloton, and I just sat there and read it as I was riding, and I was like, wow.
Well, tell the listeners what you're referring to because they may not know.
Yeah, there's an article in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
It's called 2 Soldiers, and it's a very detailed account of where were you at?
Just south of Baghdad.
Yeah, and 2 soldiers get killed, and it also talks about what happens to the families and the bodies and how they're treated and how they come back to the United States.
People need to know that.
Yeah. So what made you decide to retire?
I had 4 ruptured discs, and knee reconstructions, and it started getting harder. I knew I wasn't going to be a sergeant major. I wouldn't take sergeant major. I just didn't like that position.
Okay.
Because I had to fill in for it. It's too political for me. So when I started struggling towards the end to keep up with the 19-year-olds, it started getting to me. And so I'm like, if I can't be out front, I don't need to be there.
Okay. But you retired, and then did you try civilian life and then decide to go to
Yeah.
agency?
I kind of promised my wife I wouldn't contract, and I learned that I don't get along with people.
I mean, it's hard if you've never served in the military, and especially me as a nurse now, when I see, I call them lifers, when you've been in for so long, you just are used to military life is so different from civilian life, and people just don't get it in the civilian sector. And so you get frustrated at just the smallest things, and you just
you lose your identity.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you become someone else for sure.
Yeah, it's like when I was in, if I walk into anywhere in the world on a military installation, they would look at my uniform and know exactly who I was, what I've done, what, just by, your Ranger tab, your wings at CIB, stuff like that. That's all okay. Well, he's obviously infantry, and this. So you had an identity, and you were, I don't know, but it's all stripped away.
Right. So what kinds of things did you try in civilian life?
Oh, shit. I actually opened a cycle gear in, what's the name of that? In Alabama, Trussville, Alabama. And I moved to Alabama because of the locations of the road race tracks. Because I could go to Little Talladega, I could go to, Roebling Road wasn't that far. Obviously, Barber,
it was
all that, you know. And I was like, I'm going to try road racing after I retired because I needed something for adrenaline.
And Chippendales didn't work out for you?
and no, they don't take old fat guys. But so I opened that cycle gear, and I just could not deal
with people
with the whiny, sniveling, the way people act, the way they treat each other. That I just couldn't do it. And one of the guys that came in he was a kind of a high end. He had a lot of money, and he was always buying high end, and he always wanted me to help him. So one day he's like, "Hey," he goes, "I own a printing company, and I need a production manager." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know anything about printing." And he goes, "Yeah, well, you know how to manage." So I went and interviewed for that, and I got the job. And back to the whole civilian thing. So I went back there, and I figured out they were backed up like 6 months on orders.
Oh, wow.
So I looked at it, and I kind of figured out, okay, well, you're doing everything stupid. You're wasting time throughout the day. So I fixed that, and in 2 weeks, they were caught up and waiting on work.
Wow.
And so I got promoted in 2 weeks. So I got promoted to vice president of sales, and the guy tells me that, hey, I'll give you X amount for every new thing that you bring in, because they had not had any new contracts in years. So I went out, and in like 4 months, I had 5 new contracts, and at what it was, who basically owed me 10 grand. So I went into his office one day, and I'm like, "Hey, Ari, when are you going to pay me the bonus in this?" And he's like, "Well, we never put it on paper, so I'm not."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know who you're used to dealing with, but I will pull you over to the desk and take $10,000 out of your ass."
Wow.
And his eyes got big. He's like, "What?" And I was like, "I will beat the shit out of you." And he wrote the check, and he goes, "You realize you're fired?" And I was like, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Right.
And I left. I went home. My wife's like, "You're miserable. Go do your thing."
Yeah.
So I applied, put out a couple applications, and I got a call same day from MPRI, and I went to Nigeria and trained them on, because one of the schools I had to do was called battle staff. So I trained their staff, because they were in conflict and stuff there, and trained them. It was fun, but they wanted me to be an employee, and I didn't think I wanted to be an employee. So I put out a couple more, and as soon as I sent one to Blackwater, I got a call and they said, "Hey, we got this. It's called Select Program. We want you to come and try out for." So I went in, and it was a lot more than I thought it would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like their vetting process and stuff. It was fairly. It was. I mean, there was, pistol, rifle, hand-to-hand medical. There's all kinds of room clearing. There was a lot involved that I was like, holy crap, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, then I was with them for, I think, 10 years.
Wow. That's a long time. So working for Blackwater, did you like go on deployment and then come home, go on deployment, come home?
Yeah, that on my program was pretty cool because you kind of write your own schedule.
Okay.
You just tell them, hey, I'll go. It was the minimum you'd go is 60 days, but you could go up to 90 days, but then they want you to take mental breaks and stuff.
Right.
So I'd usually go between 60 and 80 days, and then I'd stay home for 60 or so and then go back. And so I just kept doing that.
So what was your main, job with Blackwater when you were on assignment? Was it always the same? Was it different?
No, it wasn't always. It was overall always the same. It was always security stuff.
Okay.
But you would get to, I went to a lot of different bases and, stuff like that. I was all over Afghanistan.
So you were still working with the military then, but just
No.
Okay.
No, I was working directly for the agency.
Okay.
So when we were here last time, you were telling us about the Race for the Wounded.
Mm-hmm.
So you started that after you retired the second time?
Yeah. I started that. Right after I went and raced the Baja 1000.
Okay.
Because when we decided I was going to race it, I was like, well, let's make money for a charity, a wounded veteran charity. So we ended up raising like $40,000 that race and then donated it. And I'm like, well, this is kind of cool, but let's keep it going. Let's see how many people we could get on bikes and stuff. So the next year, I started 501(c), and the next year we put the first AA amputee ever on a bike in the Baja 1000.
Oh, wow.
We had 2 wounded vets on a bike, and I had 5 in a trophy truck. And so it just started, gaining traction, and it was good for probably about 5 or 6 years, and then donations, because I lived in Georgia at the time, so it was hard to get any money thrown in something that's happening on the West Coast in Mexico. Mm-hmm. So, but a good friend of mine owns, or runs, I should say, Warrior Built, and it's Warfighter. It's a Warfighter Made.
I think I've heard of
Warfighter Made. Warfighter Made, and he was an E8 in the Marine Corps. Him and I met when we first started these things, and we've actually collaborated on a few things when we're doing it. But all the money's out there, and he's good for him. He's doing great with it and helping a lot of guys.
That's where you met Colin, right?
I met Colin
at the Baja when they were racing it.
Well, I met them before they put out a press thing saying that they were going to do the 1000. I sent them a letter and said, I know you don't know me from Adam, but I told them who I was and how we raised money for the thing, then start our own charity, and told them we have a place in Baja. If they want to come pre-run, we'll show them around. And they said they had thousands of offers, and there was something about mine that they liked. And
you were a veteran,
I guess. And small, because they know Marcus. He grew up with Marcus Trell, and so they know a lot of vets. But we were very small, and that's what they wanted. And also, we're all volunteers, so none of us took any money from it.
Right.
Everything went to the guys to help them.
Mm-hmm.
We'd pay for their flights or bike, everything.
Right.
But so then after that, for that year, I helped them. Mike and I talked every day about what to do with the bikes and stuff. And then we went down pre-road, and then they had their team, and I had my team, but we were all together. We stayed at the same place for all the pre-running and stuff. and then they had a different place during the race.
So it was after that you started coming and helping here?
Yeah. After that,
Okay.
Colin said, if you ever want to bring vets here, there's no charge.
Wow.
So then I started bringing vets here, and I started helping out with the gun stuff. And then when I moved to Texas, he's like, hey, I want you to be my gun guy. I want you to take it over.
Nice.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I've been there ever since.
So did he do guns before you started doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He had somebody else run it, and then I took it over from them.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that part, and then I started reading, and I read about Chili Pepper Jack, and I was like, there's no way Brett is Chili Pepper Jack. So I had to keep researching, and it said, no, you are Chili Pepper Jack.
Who's Chili Pepper Jack?
That's terrifying what you could find out.
Terrifying.
That was my SAS name.
That was
single
his
action.
Chippendale dancing
Yeah.
name, is what that was, folks. Don't let him fool you.
I don't know if his wife knows that.
She called it the shoe show.
Chili Pepper G-string. Here he comes.
I started competing in single action cowboy shooting.
Okay.
And you had to have an alias. So that was my alias was Chili Pepper Jack. And
Where did chili pepper come from?
I eat a lot of chilies, hot, spicy chilies, and my
Okay.
wife started, ooh, you a chili pepper. She just started calling me Chili Pepper. And then my uncle's name was Jack, who we lost. So Chili Pepper Jack.
So that just continued on to forging, right? Is that where we're going next?
To what I do now, making knives.
So how did you learn forging?
I was very good in art, in three-dimensional art in school, and actually had a scholarship for three-dimensional art that I turned down. I went in the Army. But so I saw a guy named Brian Brazil, who's fantastic blacksmith, and he was giving a demonstration on how steel moves like clay. And he had a block of clay, and he's like, see, if you do this. I'm like, oh, well, hell, I could do that. So I bought a cheap forge and a cheap anvil, and I started making things. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's just like clay. And then an old ranger buddy of mine called me. He's like, hey, I want a hunting knife. And that's where it started.
Yeah, they're really nice knives. If you
Yes, they
want
are.
a knife, go to Chili Pepper Forge, and he'll make you about anything. I think. You'll even make swords, won't you?
Yeah, I've made sword. In fact, the same guy who I made the hunting knife for, I ended up making him a sword, and then I made him an axe. But now most of the time, most people want, and I like making kitchen knives, just because they get used every day.
Right.
You know, some things are like I just had a buddy I made a war hammer for. You know, it's going to go on his wall. It's going to look cool and stuff, but how much are you going to use it? I guess if the
Depends on who
apocalypse
makes you
happens.
mad.
Yeah.
Our boys are like, I want a sword.
So you did a project called the USS Texas, where you took a torpedo casing, right? For the Purple Heart stuff.
Yeah, it was a military order, the Purple Heart, Chapter 598, out of Corpus Christi, and this is the second year that I made something for them, so they could, because they ran the national convention for 2 years, so I made them a knife. The second one I made was made out of part of a torpedo tube on the USS Texas, is what the steel was. So I did a sand mic construction, big Bowie knife, because, you know, Texas.
Right. It's got to be
bigger.
Yeah, and then I think it was, I believe it was mahogany handles, because that's what their deck was made out of. And then Texas stars in the pins. And then with the sand mic, I tried to make it look like ocean waves going down. It turned out pretty sweet.
Yeah, look, I saw a picture of it.
Yeah, and then I made a custom box for it, and I think they brought in a 6,800 for it.
Wow. So then you went to Forging Resilience. Have you always done that program, or is that something new?
No, that's who I'm in cahoots with, is that Military Order of the Purple Heart.
Okay.
598. They send not only vets, but police officers.
Okay.
And they come up, stay with me for 4 days, and they forge a knife and they make a steel rose take home.
How did you pick the knife and rose combination?
Well,
A little bit of your wife's influence there?
no, not
Okay.
really. She has one, but and some of the furniture that I've made is decorated with them. But just something, because they told me what it was costing them at a place that and I was like, oh hell no. I was like, that's way too much, and that was not. They were not being housed and they were not being fed. So, I could do for what they were paying or going to pay to send 2 people, I could do 6 people and they could make actual knives out of actual steel and something else. Because I was like, if we're going to do it 4 days, we could do 2 projects,
Right.
and they could have more to take home. So, one of the kids I say kids, one of the guys, Ryan's not a kid, but that I helped with Race for the Wounded, is pretty high up in that organization. He contacted me, and I'm like, yeah, I was like, I'll do that. I'll house them and I'll feed them.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone has a vet or a police officer that they'd like to recommend, where do they go? To your site or to?
No, to Military Order of the Purple Heart in Chapter 598. And I know that they're talking to other chapters. I don't know how it actually, that organization works.
Right.
But they're talking to other ones, because it's actually really easy to find police officers in that area who've had traumatic things happen, but they're running out of vets right there.
Really?
Yeah. That are able to do it, I should say.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's very physical, and people don't understand how physical and how hot and everything it really is.
Right.
That's why I don't do it in the summer months, because most people wouldn't be able to do it. And when I do it, I'm out there at 5 a.m, and by 10 a.m, I'm stripping off my clothes, jumping in the pool to cool off,
Climbing out and playing your guitar.
Yeah, come out and play a little guitar, baby.
I didn't know you played guitar. That was a pleasant surprise. So maybe you need to start bringing your guitar to the serenading us at night.
No, I don't think so.
It sounded good. How long have you been playing guitar?
Off and on since I was a kid.
Oh, okay. See, that was something new. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mark, he's playing guitar. He's like, what? I'm like, look, there's a video of him playing guitar.
Yeah.
So that was a nice surprise for both
I had to
of
get the
us.
lead out. Little Led Zeppelin.
So what's your focus right now? You just ride for therapy and fun? Like you said, you were going to ride with Mike in Kentucky.
Yeah, the Bluegrass Rally. So it's going to be my first first rally since 2014. I haven't raced a rally.
Yeah, every once in a while I see you post where you're riding kind of by yourself.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know if you were just still racing or just
every once in a while I'll do hare scrambles, or I'll come and do Mad Dogs here, depending on what pros show up. Is there a chance for me to make any money or not? But
Right. Show someone else.
but I just decided Mike tried to talk me into doing a rally in Colorado, and I thought about it real hard, and then it ended up getting canceled. He did it one year and he said it was great, but they couldn't get enough people signed up. So this is a new one. It's the first year they've ever done it, and I'm like, might as well, I'm getting long in the tooth. I probably won't do very well, but go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Try to finish. It's a goal. Because it's going to be 250 to 265 miles a day for 4 days.
Yeah, it's a lot of riding.
Yeah.
It should be fun though. I mean, that area, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And
So.
other times you're probably going to be pretty pissed off that you're even doing it. But I think for the most part, you'll be pleasantly surprised with that area.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah.
So you have a reunion coming up, right?
Yeah, that's in April.
So tell us more about the reunion.
Yeah, it's Bravo Company, all the
Okay.
guys who are in Iraq, and it's from I think anybody who was there from 2003 to I think 2007 in that time frame, because you have overlap,
Mm-hmm.
so some of the guys weren't with me when I was the first sergeant, but they were there after I had already retired, and so it's pretty cool though.
Where's the reunion at?
It's in Mississippi at a private hunting ranch, and that Lieutenant Summers, I think he ended up getting out as a major, but he's the one who set everything up, and so he made a deal with them, and they got big hall, and kitchen and walk-in freezer and all this, and so we all just bring guns and a lot of beer and have fun.
How many?
What's that?
About how many show up?
I think last time we had close to 20. There was the second year. Last year was only the second year. I couldn't go the first year because I had a camp.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm actually skipping a camp to go to this.
A camp here at Texas Tornado?
Yeah.
Okay.
They scheduled a private camp, and I'm like, oh, well, you should ask me first. I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, well.
So, but it's always fun seeing all the guys, kind of find out what's going on with them and stuff.
What people miss, though, when we do this is the look. You're missing, sitting here right now, his hands on his chin, and I mean, his eyes are just lit up, and you can just feel the love he has for, I'm going to get emotional, for what he does. And if you know any veterans, they hurt a lot. And if you can just if you can save one, it's worth it. So you guys, you're missing out on that part. So that's what stinks. Maybe we need to have a camera now so they can at least see his face. So that's where you have touched me. And part of why we do this is, we come back and we try to share stories of the people that we've met. And I feel like I'm a sponge. I always take a piece of people with me.
Yeah.
And you're with us. You're in our conversations more than you probably know. But I mean, it's the little things in life.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Every time we talk about what's your grandparents' name, your story comes up.
The story does come up, but we can't use that.
We can use the first sergeant. His grandkids are going to call him first sergeant. But
there's a choice word that starts with an F in front of that. But, yeah.
Yeah,
so yeah, you touched me.
He hasn't touched you.
No, you touched my heart when we were here the very first time, and this is now our third time here, and I look forward to seeing you every time.
I appreciate it. This camp's awesome. It's a lot like the military.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, because everybody's adrenaline based and focused and trying to improve, and and then cutting up and having a good time and unwinding at night, and it's a lot like the military. That's why I like coming here.
Okay.
But you meet a lot of cool people from all over the world,
and that's what we've said. With this, you find people that are, like you said, like-minded. Most people who ride motorcycles are also adventurous, and they like to fly by the seat of their pants, and things don't have to be structured, and they can go with the flow, and they can joke with each other and rip and cut up, and no one gets butt hurt about it. And you know what I mean? It's a cool boys club to be on the outskirts of.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you're like my mom used to say, if you wear your ass on your shoulders, don't come around here, because you're gonna get made fun of.
Yeah.
So if anybody wanted to get a knife forged or help you in any way, you got Chili Pepper Forge. Is it .com or just on Instagram?
No, I don't have.
So it's just Chili Pepper Forge on Instagram.
On Instagram and on Facebook.
Okay.
And they could just message me there if they want something, then I'll call them. But I like to, if I'm going to do something for somebody, I'll talk to them one-on-one to make sure I understand exactly what they want, or help them decide on what they want, or because there's everyone's different. No knife is ever the same.
Oh, right.
When they're handmade.
Yeah.
And that dirty secret of knife making is about 99% or laser jet cut out, and then somebody grinds them and calls them a custom knife.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could sell it that way. If it's not made with a hammer, to me, it's a it's a cool knife. It's a good knife, but it's not a custom knife. It's not made specifically for you and only you.
Right.
And that's all I do. I don't do any cookie cutter stuff or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They're very nice knives.
I know. I love the two that that we've gotten so far. I'm sure there'll be another upcoming order, but eventually I need one.
You need one.
Well, do you want to add anything?
Not really. I'm glad you guys came back.
Yeah.
And you brought her this time.
Oh, I know. Now she's learning how to ride. So. And I
Oh,
appreciate
wow.
you helping her.
Oh,
so
don't
that
worry.
I don't help
worry.
her.
No worries. Fat old slow guy will show her.
But we really appreciate you taking the time and spending with us. I think I've learned even more, and hopefully everybody listens to it. The people that know you here at Texas Tornado Boot Camp, the KYT guys, the Thailand Motor Tour guys, they'll
learn something new.
Yeah, they'll learn something new. That's one of the reasons we do it. So really appreciate it. Now let's go shoot some guns, right?
Yeah, let's go shoot them. Yeah, I got to go get set up.
All right.
Get you guys shooting here in a minute.
All right.
Don't shoot me. Remember that.
Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, no worries.
In closing, and I think we just share scripture. I think for us, sometimes you find strength and encouragement and support. We find it in the words that God gave us, which is what it's there for. And in all honesty, if you ever get an opportunity to come to Texas Tornado Boot Camp and spend time with Brett, you will see the love that he has for veterans in his eyes, and it's something that you just have to see it for yourself. So this week, Romans 5:3-5, suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And with that, we will sign off for this week, and we just appreciate all the people that have been in our lives and have made a difference. We definitely continued, I think, to be better people because of the people in our lives. So we thank you for that.
Has been sponsored by KYT Americas. After seeing Josh Herron take 4 consecutive wins with KYT helmets and his 5th time as Daytona 200 champion, how can you not be looking at KYT helmets to be riding with? Check them out at kytamericas.com. Thailand Motor Tours, the all-inclusive tour through the captivating mountains and valleys of northern Thailand. It's more than a vacation, it's an adventure of a lifetime. Book your tour at thailandmotortours.com.